Hello, everyone. I am Rachel Telfor.
And I'm Michelle Gower.
We are the hosts of a new true crime podcast.
It is called Children of the Void.
The Void refers to children who are missing
and children who have died under mysterious and suspicious circumstances.
Sometimes parents know nothing about what has happened to their child.
And sometimes they seem to know more than they let on.
Like Casey Anthony.
And the John Benet Ramsey case.
We are determined to do our part to find missing children.
And the truth when the story of their disappearance doesn't hold up.
Together, we will blast the shadows with light so that no more children disappear into the void.
Children of the Void debuts in September.
Join us so we can all make a difference.
Please subscribe.
Until then, I'm Rachel Telfor.
And I'm Michelle Gower.
You can catch Children of the Void on Apple, Spotify, YouTube,
and everywhere else you get your podcasts.
Hi guys, thanks for listening. Thank you as well to those of you who donate to the Patreon account. I've launched a campaign to raise funds to buy a new iMac. My current computer has been in use for over 8 years, and it is affecting my ability to create new content. As previously stated, my Patreon account can be found at www.patreon, that's patreon.com/Leader1, Leaderone. For those of you who would prefer to make a one-time single donation, there is also the option to send money to my PayPal account. The email address to send it to is Morgan Rector, my last name spelled R-E-C-T-O-R, 331, Morgan Rector 331 at hotmail.com. Remember, any amount is fine. If $1 one time is all you wish to donate, it would be gratefully accepted. Thank you for all your support, whatever forms it has taken. Enjoy the show. All right, everybody, welcome to the Confession Pulse podcast, the podcast where we take entries from the website confessionpulse.com, and these confessions are, of course, very personal disclosures of the people who use the site, and just like how people who read the confessions at the site may pass comment in their own way, either privately or in the comments section, we do it on this podcast verbally. So, welcome from myself, Morgan Rector, and my co-host,
Rosanna Chilton.
Hey, how would you like to go first this week? How would you like?
I'll go first.
Yeah.
Yay. Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna start it off with the good old days. When I was 17, I saw a boy dragged out of a public park bathroom completely naked. These boys did it for revenge to shame him in front of a bunch of girls outside. I remember girls laughing at him because his dick got hard and unable to cover it. It was horrible, but they were all looking, and so I did the same. I guess looked is what he's saying. Like, I got a little confused by like the phrasing at the bottom of that, because it sounds like, to me, it's almost like he stripped off naked.
I guess they're saying that they laughed along with them, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I mean, I've heard of a similar story. One of my friends had, like, not quite like that, but I guess he got pantsed or something, but he was really, really, really embarrassed at the time, but it worked out well for him later, because the girls saw what he was working with, and yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So,
so
there's always a silver lining somewhere, I think.
So if you send dick pics, that doesn't work out well for you at all.
Never.
But if somebody forcefully removes your pants, then that's a better way to get the word out. To
I
make
guess.
it
Which is kind of great, I think. You could always ask a buddy to pants you in front of somebody.
yeah. Well, I wonder how many women go online to like look at porn of still images of naked men.
I don't know, like I would say probably a fair amount. Like we're all weird, really, in a sense. Like, and that's not really a weird trait, but like usually people go and watch porn, right?
Yeah,
There's lots of dicks in porn.
yeah, no shortage there.
No.
Well, then again, the average woman can get it in real life so much easier than a man.
Yeah, like we get it when we don't want it. So like when we do want it, it's just like
Yeah,
it's like a tsunami of dick.
yeah, that's something you can totally take for granted.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter what you look like either, because lots of
Mm.
looking women get it too. So,
Yeah.
because I don't know if it happens to women, but what happens to men who haven't gotten it in a long time or who are maybe just not very attractive is at a certain point their standards start to fall. They just think, well, I should adjust those expectations so that way maybe I can get someone who is not as hot, but someone who's on my level. But women don't seem to do that, right? They never really lower the bar, do they?
Well, sometimes I guess people's standards are too high. And you gotta lower the bar from
Yeah,
time to time.
but many don't. That's
What's
kind of
that?
frustrating. Many don't. Many just
Yeah.
it's just like, have you not seen yourself in the mirror at all?
Yeah, like my favorite saying is like, do you not own a mirror? Like,
Yeah,
come on now. You can't be, you know, working with that sense of entitlement, like
yeah. I mean, you could afford to be picky, but
me? Oh, well, I mean,
a lot of the women
I
I've seen.
guess so, but like, I mean, I don't know. I'm a weird one. I like usually big bearded dudes, right?
Oh yeah,
So yeah, I kind of like I guess they call it a chubby chaser.
oh yeah, really.
I'm more into like bigger dudes, but I mean it's not like I have like that as a set type. It's
Yeah,
usually like I don't know, I just like being the little person. So,
you like the dad bod, do you?
yeah, the dad bod's comforting and it's like it's warm in the winter and shade in the summer.
Yeah, that's true. And you're very lithe, you're very svelte, so that kind of
Well, I mean, I like
that,
fluctuate a little bit here with my weight, but like I'm usually not very big because I
yeah,
kind
not
of
from
like
what I can tell.
I watched myself a bit, so.
Oh yeah. Oh, okay.
But I mean, the highest I've been was about 155, and I didn't really like that, so.
How tall you're like what 5'6", I think you said.
Yeah, like five
Yeah.
five, 5'6", something like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, I guess for that height, that's kind of
It
large, right?
it
Yeah.
gets a little bit big, like my pants weren't fitting right, and.
Hmm.
At the time, all the weight like kind of went to my booty, which was awesome, but it doesn't do that anymore. Your body changes, so.
Well, it wants to be fair now, wants to evenly distribute it all over you.
It just goes right to my belly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. So my first one is I hate who I am and I don't care about what I've done. I've bullied my closest friends, allowing them to develop deep insecurities about themselves. I found someone that I loved and I treated her like an object, told others about what we had done together, and inevitably did horrible things to her that I'll never be able to take back. I completely ruined her confidence. She never deserved any of it. I feel myself becoming I think, sorry, not
Yeah, no, number
number.
and number. I read that one too.
Yeah,
It's like number. I'm like,
I don't know.
anyway.
I don't know if that's a real word or not, but
Yeah, I'm not sure if that's even how it's spelled. I'm not very good
Yeah.
at spelling sometimes, so
So I
it
feel
would.
myself becoming number and number every single day to everything that I've done to everyone, but yet I still enjoy the same comforts that I've had every day for the past, well, my whole life. I'm terrified that what I've done will come out and I'll have no friends, no job prospects, no access to education, but I'm equally terrified for nothing to ever be said and I'll be allowed to continue my life as I please. I've
Oh.
ruined people's lives, people I love. None of my closest friends talk to me anymore. I push them all away. I just want something to happen. I don't know what yet, but something has to happen. I should be in prison, not in bed at home. So this
Uh-huh.
person's like a friend of me, I guess.
They seem to like be really harsh on themselves, but they also are kind of exhibiting like regret, and they have feelings apparently because like they know what they're doing is bad. So,
Yeah. Well, I
because
mean,
I mean, like the everything that he just said there at the very end, like he's expressing some remorse. It seems a little bit.
well, at least they are feeling it. I mean,
Yeah,
I had a very toxic person depart from my life a little over a year ago, and
yeah,
he never seemed to feel much remorse about it most of the time. And he had done that to people over the years, just saying these awful things. And
yeah.
um, it's interesting because he's into the BDSM thing, and he's a dom. Most people say
Okay,
subs, but
yeah.
that didn't just come out in a sexual and
No, it was all
situation.
across the board, right?
Oh yeah, like he seemed to have sadism was kind of factory installed in this guy's person, and he would just lay into people and sometimes even reduce people to tears. So,
See,
so
that's terrible. I mean, tearing down someone's spirit is a lot different than like, getting a paddling, you know?
yeah, yeah,
Cause like, and I mean, I've seen that with some dom types too, because I'm semi like, I don't say I'm like, I don't know. I guess I don't want to say I'm like so like I'm really savvy with that community. I'm fairly savvy, but I know there's always something to learn, right?
yeah,
So, I mean, I've seen those types. Like it's weird how they are usually like there's a fair amount of dominating people that just don't give a shit about your feelings, you
yeah,
know? And that's not what you need in the BDSM community because usually when you're going through those things, like getting whatever it is, like people getting hit by a crop or getting tied up, getting all of this stuff. I mean, the degradation thing, like I'm not into it, but people love to be degraded, and that's harsh. Like
yeah,
how do you not take any of that home with you? You know?
yeah. Well, I mean, the subs I think are probably usually nice people.
Oh yeah, like we're like I mean there's all different types of sub, right? But the
Yeah,
cool part is that we're I mean I say we like I'm more of a switch type, right? I've been a dominating person in most of my relationships, and I mean I don't mind it. It's just not necessarily the role I want to have all the time. But
like both in and out of the bedroom. You're like to be dominant.
no, no, I'm not like in the bedroom. I'm more like I prefer domination. I prefer that like to be dominated, and I like it a little bit rougher and whatnot. So like um yeah, I mean there's a certain amount of care that comes after that though, because like you're supposed to. It's like you put someone through that. You do kind of have to almost like make them feel better after, like, because I mean, like, again, like back to the degradation thing, how do you not take any of that home? Like, how do you not like lay in your bed at night going, oh, fuck, I am like a fucking cuckold sissy boy, like, like whatever, I don't know, like, and like, how does it not like, plague on you? Like you got to have some sort of dynamic there where it's like it equals out. So,
And And with the DOMs, there must be a line that they reach where
Yeah.
it's kind of a danger zone. Like,
Well, that's the
you
cool
know,
part
too
of it all
hostile.
too, is that people don't really know that the sub is the one with all the control.
Yeah,
Like they
yeah.
don't that like when they think of BDSM, they're just like they think of it as a cut and dry kind of like this is the dom and he's gonna beat my ass and like whatever. But no, it's like it's the sub that lays out their boundaries, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
So
Have you
yeah.
been to that website, FetLife?
Oh, I'm on there, but I haven't checked it in like ever. Like I've left that site alone for like probably about 4 years because it was connected to one of my phones and I'm not using that phone
Oh,
anymore. I
what
can't
they
remember my password or anything, and I'm just like I just don't bother with it anymore.
what do they have? Do they have an app too? Like their own app?
I don't know. They probably do by now, I would assume.
Yeah, because Krista
Oh yeah, she
me
sends
to
me
join
stuff
that.
sometimes.
Yeah, I have signed up, and then I don't know. I haven't since then really bothered with it.
Yeah,
Into
yeah,
the,
it's definitely one of those ones that's kind of like you get a lot of different people, and like one of my exes actually fucking showed up on that fucking site, like, and it was like a majorly like abusive relationship, like probably similar to your dynamic and your friend or whatever, but like it was very toxic, and he showed up on there like right when like we split, and it gave me like fucking like real bad anxiety. Like I couldn't like and like him going on there and finding people, I was like, no, 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 you don't need to ruin any fucking else's fucking life. Like you've ruined mine, you've ruined yourself. So like fucking leave people alone or something.
yeah, it's like for people who are controlling and abusive, they really should consider getting into the to BDSM because there's not enough DOMs apparently. There's most
Well,
people
I
suck.
mean, yeah, but they're like they need to be supervised.
Yeah, that too. But I mean, if you want to hurt people and control them, I mean, at least
Yeah,
that would be an outlet to do it for people who actually enjoy it. And
yeah. I mean, if they
and-
can like not be abusive outside of that, if they can like actually channel that like energy to like something a little bit more constructive, that would be great. But I mean, who knows, right? Like these
yeah,
people.
hopefully they won't get carried away. It's the main thing.
Yeah, like he was slapping my ass and then he just punched me in the face. Like,
Well, when they've got you living in a trunk and you're not allowed out except to eat or whatever, maybe that's taking it a little too far. But I think the sub usually goes for that too.
well, I mean, there's some actually talking about that part. There's pretty cool beds that you can get made where you have a cage underneath it, right?
Cage, really? Well, that'd be a little bit
Yeah,
better, I guess.
yeah. Like, I mean, it's like that's sort of your like super mega sex dungeon bed, right? Like, there's also like like the gallows where they had like people in like their head and their hands would be through the boards and stuff, like the um in the old times, like 1800s.
Medieval,
Yeah,
medieval.
medieval,
Yeah.
whatever. Yeah. So they would have those things, and those are like, part of the structure on the bed, right? Like you can have,
Yeah.
like basically it's like some of the gear is a torture device. Like, oh, one of the coolest things and also scariest things I've ever seen in my life. Get this, it was a bed. People like to get like smothered a bit, right?
Mm,
Like it's a thing. And this bed is like basically it's a latex vacuum seal.
mm.
Like the person gets vacuum sealed into the bed, and that scares me to be honest. I
So
can't.
what, you lay down and
Like,
then they put like a
that,
big tarp over you and then
well, yeah, it's like
back
it's a
seal you.
thin one, and then there's probably a mouth hole. Like
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, there would have to be. Yeah.
because you can't be in that thing, and or maybe a quick release button. Like.
Damn.
But yeah, like it's kind of weird. Oh, still on this tip, I went to this thing, and I think it was Calgary. It was called Lupercalia, and had all these workshops basically having to do with the BDSM community. And I did the knife play one.
Knife play.
And yeah, knife play. It was
So what?
kind of neat.
So what is that system basically like? You drag it along the skin to the point where
Yeah,
you're not going to cut, or
you can make them bleed. Like it's up to the person, right? Like,
yeah,
but it's the threat of the knife, right? Like people like you get that shit held up to your neck, and like there's a lot of sort of primally kind of energy with it. But the other thing it was an asphyxiation one. I can't remember exactly what it was called, but I know the spot on the neck where you can, like totally just like just the one little spot you pinch it and person can like really go out in seconds.
really
But
like the
that
Vulcan
guy
pinch.
that guy talked about like accidents that have happened with
Oh,
these things. Yeah, people have died.
yeah, I'm sure they might have. Oh, is it a vein or what? What is it? An
Yeah, it's like a
artery?
vein. It's I
Jug?
mean I'd have to like have a picture in front of me, but yeah, it's like it's along the neck around your jugular. It's around there. But yeah, like he's basically like teaching about the safety precautions and all that stuff because you do have to really like be careful.
If you cut that, yeah, they're
Yeah.
done. They're done for. You're a murderer.
Well, yeah, I mean, you're not gonna combine knife play with that. I don't think. I wouldn't want to try that one out. That doesn't seem like it would end well.
So maybe the Vulcan nerve pinch could be a real thing.
Yeah,
Know how to apply it. Yeah.
it would almost be like that.
All right. What's your next confession there?
Okay, this one. Let me see. What was I gonna do next? I'm gonna keep going with the theme of exposure
All
and.
right.
Okay, so my lucky day. I was sitting in the pool side with my girlfriends, when this boy from our school came up to us. He was, this person
Yeah.
is not very good at writing, but it's okay. He was standing right in front of us when this joker came up behind him and pantsed him. 1 minute we were talking to him, and the next we were looking at his dick, standing there in front of us completely naked. I remember he was so embarrassed. He just reached down, pulled his swimsuit back up, and walked away totally humiliated. The luckiest day of our lives.
The luckiest day. Oh.
So I don't know what part of it she's talking about being like lucky, because I mean, I will admit, like, you kind of get a little bit of pleasure out of like these scenarios, and you do, like, honestly, like a good human being would laugh but also feel really bad, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
But like I'm thinking they just like the fact that they saw a dick on a day that they probably weren't going to see a dick.
Yeah.
It sounds
Well,
like that anyway, but
today's teenage girls are sexually active, I think, in most
yeah.
cases. So it's not like they haven't seen one before.
Oh yeah. No, I mean, I don't know. Like I started pretty early, so like it's you see them you see them all your life,
Like with
But I
junior
guess
high
in
early.
public, oh, what is that called? Voyeurism.
Yeah.
Voyeurism. So yeah, like that maybe they're kind of like into that sort of thing.
Well, have you ever been a victim, though I don't know if you'd see yourself as such, but a victim of indecent exposure, like some guy on the street or something?
No, no, actually. No, I mean, it's real windy here in Nova Scotia, so you
Yeah.
have to be
Yeah.
careful about what you're wearing. Because I legit the other day, like on one of the windiest streets, watched a girl in a really cute dress like walk up the street, and I could totally see her ass.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it like indecent exposure by nature. That happens a lot here.
Yeah, yeah. Lots of
But
precipitation, yeah.
yeah, but for the most part, it's not like I don't think like guys aren't that brazen out here. They're a little, like I feel like they're more respectful, which is pretty
Hmm.
good. They're not
Well,
gonna just like fucking unless it's maybe a gay dude, like and you're close friends with them, then maybe. But like, I don't see like, your normal straight male doing that. Like, but then again, I've probably just been lucky. Who knows?
well, I mean, when I still lived in Amherst, my stepfather, who was no longer my stepfather, was a sex offender. He was a flasher, so he did plenty of that.
Oh my God, that's a dying breed.
Yeah, yeah. Well, let me see. That would have been from like 1988, I guess,
Okay,
89, or
no
maybe,
internet
okay,
yet.
yeah, maybe 87 to 89. Yeah. So you would have been, well, young
Pretty
enough.
young.
You probably would have been traumatized at that age. So.
Yeah, and you know what? What's funny is that I was probably in and around Amherst. So I mean, my grandmother or she's passed on now, but she used to live in Spring Hill, so we'd go to Amherst a fair amount.
Mm-hmm.
I'm kind of glad I didn't run into you. It
Yeah,
could have
yeah.
scarred me, man. It could have scarred anyone, really. Like,
He
oh my
was
God, like, did he have a trench coat?
no, he didn't have a trench coat.
Fuck, that's not good.
No, he would just he'd be wearing pants but it was well with there are two kinds of guys when it comes to that. Like Anthony Kiedis of the Red Hot Chili Peppers once got into some hot water with the law because when he was coming off stage, like I think it was 1990, he
Mm,
just flashed this girl who was there, and I guess maybe he assumed she would be a groupie, but she
mm.
wasn't, and she called the police, and he got into some trouble there. So, and he never did it again. But with my stepfather, it was compulsive. He was a real sex offender. Like it was just the way he was wired. He did it to some of my mother's friends. So yeah, he got busted in Nova Scotia and New Brunswick and did it up here as well. Yeah. So he
He
was
was a traveling man.
yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, and it was in the paper in Amherst too. There was a article about it, and yeah, so he's a perv. So sorry, my
My
next.
that
Oh,
sounds like very familiar though. Like my mom experienced a flashing incident, but that was like she was in grade school. She told the guy, well, in not so many words, she told the guy that she didn't like him and stabbed him with a pencil.
oh, wow. Well, the thing is, they don't want like the woman to react.
Oh, she
Like she wants to have
reacted.
sex. They want the woman to be upset. They want to freak them out.
Mm.
Because one of my mother's friends actually like came on to him when he did it, and so that yeah that wasn't what he was looking for. He wanted the wit because he was an abusive personality.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh man. Yeah, that's like that makes a lot of sense though. It does. Like when you think about it like with the psychology thing, like they're doing it like for some sort of excitement. And if somebody responds well to it, it throws them right the fuck off.
Yeah,
Right?
totally doesn't work coming from the other direction.
Yeah.
Did you see his video? It was like a newscast, and it was set in Toronto, and they stopped and talked to this woman, and it started out normally enough, and then all of a sudden she started taking her clothes off. She turned out to be like a crazy like homeless lady or something, but they didn't know it at first.
No, when was that?
I think it might have been like 87. Like
Oh,
I'll see if I can find it later.
yeah, man. Oh, that's fucking awesome.
Yeah, they didn't see it coming at all. It was really
And
fun.
like, oh fuck, what are you doing, lady?
Yeah, yeah. It's interesting because women can go topless in Toronto, but you never see.
Yeah, you don't see it. And that's the thing. I
Never.
remember I think I was living in Oshawa when they were like, yeah, like this is a thing now. And I was actually kind of disappointed I didn't see
Yeah.
more titties.
I saw some the year that they passed
I
the
mean,
law.
I kind of would have, but it's like I need to see like at least two
Yeah.
other people doing it before I'm gonna do it.
Yeah, it
Not that
was.
I'm a follower. It's just like.
I think it was 97 when they passed that law. The only time
Oh, okay.
I've saw a few that year, it was mostly just women being like outrageous.
Yeah, like, oh my God, like,
Yeah.
I fucking take my shirt off because titties.
Yeah, there was a
Like,
strip club owner who got his dancers to like hang out topless outside, and these girls were hanging around topless outdoors because they were part of like an animal rights organization, and the idea was if you get to see our tits, you'll pay attention to what we're saying about animal abuse and stuff. So
right.
yeah, it worked. So anyway, my next confession is the title is an LGBT themed confession. I could be lesbian, but I don't want to be.
What?
I've made out with 3 different guys in my life, but it seemed like they were all bad kissers. I've fantasized about kissing another girl, specifically one of my best friends, but I'm terrified that I will like it. I can't be a lesbian. I wouldn't be able to handle the judgment from my friends and family. Do you think she is a
Um,
lesbian?
yeah, I mean, I don't want to, like, get, just be so definitive on that, but I feel like, yeah. And she's not going to be disappointed. Women are
Uh,
so much softer
yeah,
and they smell
less
good
threatening.
all the time. Like,
Less threatening. Yeah,
well, I mean, no, actually, I don't know. I get along. I love people in general, but like, if it comes to a girl that I like, I'm gonna be like fucking like a teenager around them. Like, I'm not gonna be like. It's hard for me to express. Um, well, just put myself on the line and like be set up for rejection. Like that's actually the main
yeah.
thing. Being rejected by a girl I feel is way harsher than being rejected by a guy.
Well, you've
But I
certainly
mean, for the
got
most
great.
part, I've only had again, I feel I'm lucky here. I've only been rejected by a few people in my life. But like the other ones, have been just so scared to do something that and it turns out some of those times is like that person liked me too. That's cool. Like,
Yeah, maybe
but
they
I
have
was,
the same concerns. Yeah, maybe they just weren't ready for it. Yeah,
yeah, or like, you just kind of like, you know, you play it safe, right?
yeah,
And because I mean, again, rejection sucks. And like what this person is talking about with their friends and family, I don't know. I mean, I'd hope that they wouldn't be so close-minded to that, you know, just because your friend likes girls doesn't mean she's different now, like she's fine, like she's still the same person
well,
that
it
you're
does.
friends with.
It does mean that once you come out, you'll never be viewed as normal again.
Well,
Uh,
yeah. I mean,
Normalcy is
who's
only,
normal now?
that is true, but I mean, it's like your friends and family may never get to a point where they don't care about that and they just accept you and
Yeah.
yeah,
Well, yeah, I mean, there's lots of things that that people don't accept that you find out along the way during life, right? The best thing to do is keep yourself happy because like none of these people have any responsibility to keep you happy.
no,
And if you're taking away from your own life to please other people, that's you're not gonna like live a really fulfilling life. It's not gonna be, you're gonna go through a lot more bullshit than you need to. Like,
yeah,
yeah, there's a certain amount of bullshit that comes with like, coming out or like getting tattooed or like, doing things that are just out of the norm. Because everybody has sort of like a outlook of what normal is, right? If you're out of that box, you're out of that box because there's so many people that are like
yeah,
which is really good about the world that we're in today, even though it's fucking weird with the COVID thing and the shots and all this stuff, politics, everything. Like, honestly, you gotta live your best life,
yeah, yeah.
you know?
And also, I've been in the situation where I tried to act normal with normal people,
Man, that's
and
exhausting.
yeah, and you just feel really alienated, and
Yeah, and then like you're still questioning whether or not you actually like if you're selling what you're doing right now.
yeah,
You know, it's like,
yeah.
are they believing me? Like,
Well, it's like I can't talk about certain things because I know that they either wouldn't appreciate it, understand it, or they'd find it disturbing. And
mm,
I'm like sitting there thinking, what can I talk about that is totally non-threatening and boring enough for these people? And then I realize I don't belong here, you know?
yeah, yeah, yeah. Small talk, man. Small talk and all that crap. It's like, like it's hard sometimes because like you're just like, well, fuck. Like, what do normal people talk about?
That
Like exactly what you just said. Like,
yeah,
what do you people even like? What are you into?
fucking sports and cars. That's what
Yeah,
they.
and it's like, okay, cool. I know like nothing about that except for the car. Like, I know some car stuff. I used to watch Top Gear,
Oh, yeah.
and that's a great show. It's a great show. If I can steer the conversation to that, then I'm gold. But like, yeah, no, I don't know anything about cars
Well,
or like sports. I used to play soccer, but I'm not up on any teams or anything like that, right?
yeah, like my relatives are those people, you know, I can't really
Mm,
carry on a conversation with them. And
yeah.
they're not interesting Nova Scotia people who live near the water and all that. They're more like,
Bay people are great. Like
I'm
you
sure
get
they
all
are.
kinds. Yeah, you get
And
all kinds out here. There's a lot of Hicks. Like here, area and like the valley, you get a lot of Hicks, and I love that actually. Like some of them, the most refreshing people ever. Like I
yeah,
was visiting a friend in Kentville recently, and his neighbor was just fucking three sheets to the wind, and it was like 1 p.m. but
yeah,
on a Saturday, so it's like whatever, it's Saturday, right? Like, because of fuck. But like,
well, like, I mean,
yeah,
I have found life in Toronto difficult because Nova Scotians are so raw, they're so open, and
yeah,
certain things you can't be open about in Toronto, which has made life here kind of hard. You know?
yeah. It's a weird double-edged sword with like cities, because like your city, like if you're like say you could easily just blend into the crowd, right? And
Yeah,
like no one knows your business really as long as you keep to yourself or whatever. Out here, everyone knows your business.
yeah,
Everyone's like gossiping about you. Fucking it's a community. It's not a city.
yeah,
It's like
that's
it's
true.
weird. But I wouldn't trade it. Well, I don't like the whole gossiping thing, but the people that gossip usually are just trash anyway.
They have no lives, so
Well, yeah, yeah. Like recently, one of my exes is like he's trying to get like a coalition together, and like he's kind of succeeded, but like these people are like the trashiest people that are in our community, like legit. Like they people are literally just tolerating them. They're tolerating these people because they're like, yeah, I'm tired of so and so shit already. Like they've been fucking up long ago, but now they're fucking trying to like, gossip and fucking take the spotlight off them somehow because that's what you do. But yeah, I mean it's annoying, but once you stop giving a fuck, you're gold. And like I swear to God, it took me about like 5 years. Like since I got back here, since 2017, 5 whole goddamn years to stop giving a fuck about these people. So, and that's the thing. That's like back to your deal, like your confession. Like it's hard to stop giving a fuck, but
yeah, yeah,
sometimes that's what you have to do. You have to stop giving a fuck and move on, right? Like just keep going with your life because you have a life to live. And it's not going to be fucking awesome if you're doing it for other people.
yeah.
You know, you're not even giving yourself anything out of the whole deal. Like that's not cool. Like
Yeah, living for other people, man, that's no fun.
no.
I'm actually reading that book, The Subtle Art of Giving a Fuck, right now. Of
My
not giving a
friend
fuck.
has that book and I lent it to him and I can't fucking like I need to get it back because I wanted to read it too. But yes.
Yeah, he makes a good point. I think we care too much about a lot of bullshit.
Other people's opinions on us and it's like,
Yeah.
yo, like, that's coming from their brain and their hang-ups and their judgmental whatever it is. Like they're like it shouldn't matter, you know? It shouldn't matter what they think. And
Right. So what's your next confession?
all right, so this one's written kind of weird, so just like wait, like I guess we'll we'll just go through it together. I wish I had a dick. I really wish I had a pussy. This is like this is why I say this, right? It
Oh,
turns me on so much just thinking about it. Sometimes I put a sock in my underwear to give myself a bulge. I also love watching pussy and thinking of myself as the guy. Am I trans? I don't I'm sorry, but like that's really a little bit confusing how it's wrote, but I
has,
feel like they have a pussy and they put like a sock in there just to like be like, feel like they have a dick. You can just get a strap on if that's the case, like,
yeah, I was just thinking of that. Yeah,
you know?
get a strap on,
And
especially one
I
of those
mean,
double-headed ones.
oh man, the double-headed ones are great. Like I used to work at this place called Naughty by Nature and like they like there was a couple times they like there's one time they were short staffed. They used to have a few locations and I they didn't have anybody to work one of their locations. I was like, I'll do it. I know all the things around here. And I did, like, I didn't sell anything that day, which kind of sucked because I am a really good fucking salesperson, but no one was like looking to buy anything. But from that place, I acquired a big fucking long double-ended fucking dildo. It's big, like it was long, and I was like I got it as a joke, cause like when you pull it out of it, it's like really floppy, right? Like you you could really fuck somebody up with it.
So you're like Darth Maul with that thing, huh?
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely like you could knock somebody out. Like I'm telling you, it was a good double ender. I
Did
never
it
got
have a
to
lot of
use it.
girth?
What's that?
Did it have a lot of girth?
Yeah, I mean it's not like a pop can kind of girth. It's like a lot smaller than that. It's
Yeah.
more like I guess the bottom of a pop can, we'll say, like that little. Anyway, so it was long and floppy, and I just like I just love the fact that it was like I called it a weapon. Like I never really used it. But then um the real toxic person that I got with, I had used it on him a few times and it wasn't really made of like the most strongest material. It started getting like little cracks and stuff in it. And that's when you toss
Oh
your
yeah.
fucking toy out because bacteria, no joke.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And I
No.
mean that was in his butt too, so it's like, like no.
Yeah, I guess that's time to buy one that bottle of blue liquid that barbers have. You put
Can you
whatever.
imagine like one of those with like a bunch of dicks in
Yeah,
it?
a bunch
Like
of dildos. Yeah.
oh
All right.
man, the barbicide, I can't imagine. Like you'd have to fucking clean that. Like you'd have to clean it like off. Cause barbicide, I'm just thinking you pull that out of the thing, barbicide's still on it, you jam it in, it can't be good.
Well,
That shit looks like Windex. Like,
well, I'm thinking if prostitution is ever legalized, you know, they'll probably have all these regulations, like it'll have to be run in an official place of business, and they'll probably have like hygienic regulations, like you'll have to sterilize your strap-ons and all that kind of stuff. I'm
well,
sure.
yeah. Like when it comes down to it, you kind of like you can't you gotta put like a condom on top of it, right? Like
Yeah, yeah,
and clean it. But like really when you have toys, especially if like say they're like a BDSM toy that breaks the skin, you can't share it between people. I had this one partner, well, very brief partner. He had this paddle that had like, you know how you get like studded things and it's got like those little like the corners like the like in order to get the stud in the fabric, there's like there's these like little pointy things, right? Like and they crimp them so that the stud stays in the
oh,
fabric,
all right.
right? So in this paddle, basically they left all those little stud things up. Like
Ow.
yeah, so it's pointy. And there's a
Yeah.
bunch of them in the paddle. It's a good paddle. It's a real spicy paddle. But when I like went to this person's place, I was like, how many people have you used this on? And like thankfully one other person, thankfully, I was shitting myself kind of because it's like, okay, you're breaking the skin and this thing is made out of leather and you can't clean that properly. You can't disinfect it. So you're like gonna get little blood particles
Yeah.
like all up in this shit. It's like you can't clean it. There's no actual way to clean that and it be safe for anyone.
Not even like
Um,
just to take like a damp rag that's soaked in bleach and
well, you'd ruin the leather. Like it just
yeah,
depends on if it's like real leather or if it's synthetic, I guess. But like you're still gonna like wear away at this material, which is porous, right?
yeah, yeah.
Porous material, like there's very little out there that doesn't suck up something, right? So yeah.
Okay. Was it my turn?
Yeah, it's your
Oh,
turn.
all
Because
right. So,
I did the trans one thing.
oh yeah, okay. So here's another one for the girls, the lesbians. This one's titled "She Doesn't Know." It's a pretty short one. It goes, I'm in love with my best friend, but she's straight and I can't tell her. So I remember you mentioning before you've kind of been in that position, right?
Yeah, the rejection is a very fucking real struggle. Like,
Especially if you don't know what their sexual orientation is, right?
yeah. But I mean, sometimes, you know what? Like, if it bothers you so much where you're like, you just can't really, like, you can't focus and all that, sometimes it's just better just to get it off your chest, you know? And be
Yeah.
like,
Well,
look, I think you're like you can put it in a way where you're not coming off totally like a clinger or something.
yeah.
Like I think you're a beautiful person. Um, I really love your style, I love your energy, all of this stuff. Like compliments are great. Like if you just come off that way, like sometimes it's a little bit better and it will make that person, like the person dealing with all that internal struggle, like it'll probably help them out, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's less to be afraid of if it's a woman because
Yeah,
most
in
likely,
a
I mean,
way.
well, I mean, I had one of my ex-girlfriends told me a story about how, so she's completely straight, and a girl who's either gay or bi kissed her one night at a party, and my ex, she said, it did nothing for her. It didn't get her in the mood. It, she didn't suddenly have a sexual awakening like she's bi. It did nothing for her, but she didn't treat the girl poorly because of it. She didn't, stop being her friend. But I mean, I don't buy into this notion that everyone is bisexual. That's something some bisexual people believe, but I don't think it's true. So,
Oh, you like the like sort of the blanket statement that everyone's a little bi.
yeah, I don't. believe it because I've
I don't
noticed.
totally believe it either, because like I've
Yeah,
met a lot of dudes like that are like super super straight, you know, like they're
yeah,
like, no, you know, I won't even and like
yeah,
I won't even entertain like looking at another dude's dick, like if even if it's like if it means, you know, if you say you're doing a double male threesome, right? Like
yeah.
two males and a girl. Like I actually know of two guys that like they were into that sort of thing, but they weren't gay. Like they just wanted to like pound the fuck out of something, I think. And you know,
Hmm.
the to me the best approach though, like, and this is kind of going, I guess, a little off topic about the anyway. Um one of my like way past guy friends, he's like, I did a threesome with my girlfriend with another guy, and we just treated her like a queen. You know, that was the objective. The two of them, they like made it their fucking job to like basically kind of worship her in whatever way, right? And I thought that was kind of beautiful because like I was like always kind of scared of like that's too many dicks, you know? Like
Damn.
that is too many dicks. But the way that he put it was, was that, and I thought, wow, that's, I'm into that, but
Oh, what
like
was there like double penetration
I
involved?
don't know. Like, I mean, that could have been a thing because I hear that's extraordinary, but I've never gotten to that. Um, but yeah, like that was good. But I mean, like all in all, you're still gonna be naked in front of each other, and not every guy is down to see another dick like in person. Like
Well, I remember there's a group, Nova Scotia Underground. I was a member of that for a while. It's a Facebook group for anyone who's not aware. And this girl kept posting this thing. Uh, it was like a cartoon with two girls in it, and one girl says, "But I'm straight." The other girl
oh
says,
yeah,
uh, "Yeah,
so
so it's spaghetti
spaghetti.
until you get it wet." But
Yeah,
if the other girl's not attracted to girls, you can't get her wet if you're,
yeah.
and
It's
it's
not.
not
I mean,
right. It's not right to try to force yourself onto her.
no, no, but I mean, like, I think, like, between the genders, like, us females were a little bit more open to that sort of thing. We've just always kind of been that way.
Yeah,
Like,
maybe.
but with males, it's a little bit different, like,
Well, I mean, yeah, as a young man, one of the things you're taught is like one of the worst things you can be is gay.
yeah, and I mean,
And
like,
to this day, that's you're taught that.
yeah, yeah, and I mean, and I remember being in high school, and there's like maybe a couple of dudes that like they were totally like like I never really paid any attention to like anyone's sexual orientation. I was too worried about like sort of myself and whatever at the time. But this guy, like, he had it made, man. He had all the like the cutest girls around him all the time. So he was kind of protected, right? Like if anyone, like, say if anybody wanted to date any one of these girls, they would have to be cool with that guy, you
Hmm.
know? So it was a good test, And like I mean, I never really knew him because it was a different clique, right?
Yeah.
But but he was always super nice, like all of the stuff. And I don't think like, as far as I know, I don't think he even got teased that much because he had like, a real good like arsenal of like beautiful bodyguards, right?
Yeah. So what he straight
No,
or
he was gay. He was
oh he was
definitely
gay?
he
Oh yeah,
dressed
that
better
makes
than all the guys in school, man. He was wicked. Like I was like every fucking day that guy never looked bad, not once.
yeah. And I'll bet at least one of those girls like developed a crush on him, knowing
Mm,
full well there's no chance, and that seems
probably.
to happen. Yeah.
Man, I've had some gay friends that um like there was a bar that used to, well, the original bar, it's still here, but they moved it. The original bar, it's called Reflections, and like that place, like it was gay night on Saturday, and I always like I went out there like there was times where I went out like almost any time during the week. Like I would go out. There was something going on anytime, like any day. Uh, but Saturdays was like it was gay time, and I loved it. Like it was just like you could just go and fucking dance. No one was fucking trying to like rub up on you. Like it was just the best time because you like, and you're just having a time because like the guys had their agenda and the girls we just wanted to fucking go dance.
Yeah.
But one of my like good gay friends, I love him to pieces. He had pulled me into the bathroom one time, like we were doing drugs, but
Mm.
he pulled me into the boys' room. So and it's like it's one of those places you'll see like a guy or two come out of the girls' room and a girl come out of the guys' room. It doesn't matter, right? Like,
Yeah.
but and he's like, I really want to I want to kiss you. Is that okay? I'm like, what? like, what do you mean? I'm a girl. Like, you don't. And she's like, I think you're cute. Like, and I'm like, oh my God. Okay, yeah, let's make out. Like, because I'm like, I need to add that to my list of things that I've done in my life is make out with a gay guy. Like that's so dope. Like to me, that's an accomplishment. It's
Mm.
like, this is probably as far as it's gonna go because like who knows,
Yeah.
like might not be into the vagina thing, but this was good. Like it was cool, and he's still one of my good friends.
All right. So what's your
Yeah,
next
I'm done.
confession?
Right. Okay, one second here. Okay. I wore the panties of my best friend's girlfriend.
Oh boy.
I saw her panties in the laundry room and I had my eye on them. It was a nice white silky lace thong. I put them on and felt so nice on my butt. I'm writing this as I'm wearing them and I'm trying my hardest not to get pre-cum all over them.
Well, too late, I'm sure.
Yeah, yeah, this is probably a while ago, so it's probably already done.
Yeah, they invest so much time into making women's underwear look great and feel great, and
Yeah,
men
they
just get
do.
cotton most of the time, cotton or linen. That's it.
Man, Licenza had this line of underwear out, and it was like this almost like a lycra. It wasn't lycra, it was thinner than that. Basically, like they're boasting that you wouldn't be able to tell that you were wearing underwear with like this fabric, right? And it was hands down one of my favorite line of underwear that they had out, and they don't have it anymore. But it's just like it was so thin, and it was almost like, yeah, like almost like lycra, but not like lycra's thicker. That's your bike shorts and shit. But like it was like a thin version of that, and it like they felt really smooth, really silky. Like they felt good. I can't imagine what it'd feel. Actually, yeah, like with a guy with the junk and stuff, like it's pressing against it.
Yeah, yeah.
Like there's a sensation with that, right? So I don't know, like I kind of find the underwear thing like intriguing because I had a couple partners that were like into that sort of thing too. But I mean, it was more about like if I wore them or not, you know? Because
Yeah.
you gotta have like a lot of men actually these days are very scent driven. It's like I think it's a primal thing. Like, like I know of guys that like festival pussy is a real thing. So
That's
like festival pussy.
what does that
So
consist of?
so like Coachella shit like that, right? Like it's like a 3 day kind of deal. Um it's kind of hard to go get showers and
Oh
stuff.
yeah.
You're sweaty, like you smell like a human being, you've got like your BO, like all of the stuff, like all of your hormones and whatnot, like some guys just go fucking wild over it.
Well,
Like
yeah, they say that subliminally, yeah,
it triggers.
bodily secretions
Yeah.
Emit pheromones. Yeah, as you said. And,
Pheromones. Yeah, that's the word
yeah.
I was looking for. So
And,
yeah, one of the things I read in ancient Greece, I think it was maybe Cleopatra that did this or whatever, but like they would like stick like oranges or fruit or whatever in their armpits, like to like get
mm,
the secretion into the like that way. Like they would, and then that would be like oh, what's the word for like food that gives you like is supposed to be erotic?
mm,
Um,
Aphrodite.
anyway, aphrodisiac. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
supposed to be an aphrodisiac because it's your bodily fluid. And I mean, like I found that kind of interesting, but not something that I would try out, but
Back,
interesting.
well, back then women didn't shave their pits, so I guess they would have had as much BO as men did, if not for the.
Oh man, yeah, that's something that I totally noticed. If I don't shave, like I definitely smell different. Like it's weird.
Yeah, because it's bacteria getting trapped in
And
there.
the hairs, yeah, that's why I've practically shaved just about everything because I'm like, ah, no, I don't want any bacteria there. Thank you.
Okay. My next one is it's titled My Friend's Boyfriend. So back to heterosexuality. So sometimes when I think about you, I want to grab my hair. I want you to grab my hair and kiss me and look at me with those eyes and just make me want you because I do. And even though I know I'm really, really not supposed to, I can't help hoping you want me too, in spite of her. And I keep having these fantasies of us together because we would be oh so good. And I don't know, sorry, I like you. Have you had that happen to you? Develop a crush for a friend's boyfriend?
Yep. Yeah. But I mean, like that was kind of weirdly like at the beginning of dating this guy because like this um it's like literally the two most toxic people like that I've dated in the last
Yeah.
little bit. So yeah, him and his friend like I was seeing one of them and what's even worse is that I kind of ended up splitting one up with his then current girlfriend and like I didn't like I just I was a horrible person, I think, back when I was like when I sit and think back on what I've done in my life, like I really didn't care about like people being in relationships. I wanted whatever the fuck was gonna happen. Like I was like, doesn't matter. Like they're a grown ass person, but like you can always say no. Like you can always like not put yourself in those positions. But anyway, like this this guy, I was actually like I was hooking up with the one that I was just talking about, and then his friend was like had owned a store at the time. He was like just spinning records and stuff, and like I like at the time, um, I liked both of them, but like the other one wasn't. I think he had a longtime girlfriend, like a girlfriend that was like they were together for years and years and years, whatever. But I did hook up with him later, and it was like the biggest mistake I've ever made in my life. But yeah, I mean everybody does. Everybody covets what they don't want or what
Yeah.
they want, what they don't want, what they want, what they can't
Yeah.
have.
Well, did
They
you
covet what they can't have.
have you ever had like girlfriends like kind of flirting with your boyfriends and
I mean, yeah, I warn people, and then they find out for themselves because it's like I can't fucking like I'm not gonna be a bitch and like if you think that's what you want, go for it, but don't say I didn't fucking warn you, like
yeah.
like that's how it usually goes, and like I honestly like I have no uh remorse. Well, I don't hold anything against those people at all ever because it's like my whole life, I legit have like people giving me advice and I've completely ignored it. And I'm like, nah, whatever. And like, it's not gonna happen that way. That's not the result, whatever. That's not, how things are gonna be. But like, it's usually how they're gonna be. People say
Yeah.
things for a reason.
Well, I knew a woman who was like married for a few years, and she said that other women were attracted to her husband, and they would flirt with him like right in front of her face. Like they knew full well she was his wife, and she didn't care. Like some women are that blatant about it. So,
Mm.
all right, what's your next confession?
This one, I like, okay. I picked this one because I wasn't sure, like, and we can discuss this. I wasn't sure if, like, they're, like, trying to, like, find people, like, anyway. Teasing men. Hi, this is all new to me. A colleague at work told me about the site. I'm 37, female, work as a PA, which is a personal assistant, and that's all she left. So I feel like this might be one of those ones where like somebody might like I don't know respond to can people respond to this like on the site like
Oh yeah, yeah, they have comments.
okay
Yeah.
so like she probably like is getting some responses from that based on like how little stuff is in there like she the title is teasing men so she's probably got a few people like
Well, it doesn't take much.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, I like how she's like work as a PA, which is a personal assistant, and just leaves it at that. It's like, okay. I mean,
Yeah.
a lot of people know what a personal assistant is, like, but like, does she do like is she wanting to do that on the job? Like, is that part of her personal assistant? I don't know.
Well, men
I
don't.
want to know more about this person. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, men don't care what women do for a living at all. And kind of on a just as a side note, today it's funny because I was looking at a porn video online, and it's weird because they have comment sections. It's weird that they have that there, like I mean everything they said was positive. It's just like to think that somebody has to say that, like, wow, she's hot.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, like about who?
Oh, about it, pretty much anybody. I
Oh,
mean,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
I don't know
yeah,
if there's a lot of negative comments, but they seem to be mostly positive ones.
yeah, yeah.
All
No,
right.
usually like people are pretty receptive.
Yeah. All right. My last one is the title is Why? Why can't you just love me? Why have you been playing with me the past 5 years? Why can't I get you out of my head? I try to find other people, but it never works out with them, and I always come back to you. I wish I never met you, but I've learned so much from these painful experiences that it would be a shame to forget them. I just want somebody that loves me. How come I can't find anybody? Have you ever had that feeling like you wish you'd never met a certain person?
Yeah, I mean, I have that a lot, but at the same time, like my like I guess it comes with like growing up and like realizing that there's a lot of good that comes with bad, right?
Yeah.
Like um I wish that I didn't like move back here for a guy, but a lot of other cool shit's happened since then, like um and I mean I wish that I could take back some of the stuff that had happened or whatever, but like again, a lot of good stuff came out of that too. Like even though it was like not the best decision or not the right person or a really bad experience going through it, you pick up a lot of knowledge regardless. And
Yeah.
knowledge is always good.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah.
it's hard to shake people sometimes. Like I know when I like when I'm kind of like interested in somebody, I get excited, you know, because I'm like, oh my God, like they're like me, either like the things are so easygoing, like I like it's like I gas them up right away. And like sometimes, like especially if you're here, like people catch wind of that shit, and then all of a sudden you come off like you're an obsessed bitch. So like, you know, it depends, you know? Like I I like now I would never regret. I don't really regret the things I've done, you know. I do think about where it would be if I had different decisions a lot,
Yeah, yeah, I
but I
guess
think a lot of people think about that too. So
sure. Well, you know, if it weren't for the bad stuff, the good stuff couldn't have happened, obviously. And
yeah, one of my favorite phrases, and like it coincides with this, is like, um, the stars are even brighter contrasted by the night.
yeah, yeah, without the darkness, you can't have the light. Yin yang.
So yeah, that's like legit one of my favorite things, and it's just like, oh, I love it.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, it's naive to think that nothing bad will ever happen to you or that you don't deserve to have things happen to you because the belief that causes people a lot of suffering is the notion that we always get what we deserve because that's not always true. Like I spilled scalding hot tea on my foot and it was hot enough that it caused some of the skin on top of my foot to peel back and I've been getting wound care for it. And it's to ask myself why me. Well, I didn't do anything to deserve it. I didn't pour scalding hot tea on someone else's foot. It just a shitty thing that happened. So that was one time in my life when I challenged myself not to say why me. you know
Yeah.
Shit happens basically.
Oh man, like shit will always happen. Like honestly, how long does one's like lucky streak actually last? It's like tops a day. Once you go to sleep, that shit is all over. You know, like you get one day of like good if you get that.
Yeah. Well, I think like everyone's life has like what I would call like a golden age where everything was just going perfectly. They were never happier, and who knows how long it lasts. It doesn't seem to start and stop for all people at the same time. But basically, that happens and then it ends. And um, some people die when they're still going through the golden age of their life, and some don't. Like I always felt like JFK died at the perfect time. President of the United States, had sex
Yeah.
with Marilyn Monroe, and he was just in the middle of it all, and then it ended. So he never lost an election, he never grew old,
Yeah.
or anything. So
There's like a sort of a convenience thing there,
yeah,
you know?
and then I think Michael Jackson should have died in 1984. That would have been the best time because he was still cool and he hadn't had all
Well, I
this.
mean, yeah, it's like that's all right, but I mean, like he's got some pretty good looking kids.
Yeah, yeah, that's
I
true.
will say that, like, um, but I mean, he named one Blanket, didn't he?
Blanket, and then another one's Prince. And
Yeah, like why? Like Blanket is not. No.
I forget the girl's name is Paris, which is the most normal of the
Yeah,
women.
and she's really gorgeous.
Yeah,
She's
yeah,
got like beautiful eyes.
yeah. What a
Yeah.
shame that he ended up the way he did. He
Oh
just,
man, it was like he was pretty much addicted to like painkillers and stuff though, right?
oh yeah, yeah.
Like yeah.
Yeah, well, I
But I
know.
mean, he really did like he actually did pretty good for himself, I'll say. Like
Well, yeah, yeah.
there's a lot
It's
of like a lot of people go downhill really badly, and like he hit it really well. You
yeah,
know, like
it's
he
true.
didn't really know.
Well, I mean, he was a Jehovah's Witness, and they're against blood transfusions, and so if he
Oh.
needed surgery, he wouldn't have been able to get it. Like Prince, this was the same thing with Prince. Prince
Mm.
converted to the Jehovah's Witnesses, and he needed hip transplant because after all the years of playing basketball and doing the splits and all these other dance
Yeah.
moves, he wore his hip out, And when you get hip replacement surgery, you need blood transfusions because it's a long surgery. And for some reason, the Jehovah's Witnesses don't believe in blood transfusions. They think it's wrong for some reason. And so he decided instead to just take painkillers, but he OD'd. So
Fuck, man.
so it's that religion's just warped. So
It is.
yeah.
It is.
Well, on that note, I think we've blown our wad for this week.
Haha.
Thank you very much, Rosanna, for joining me once again.
Well, thank you. It is like literally like the best thing to do on Sundays. Like I have never had a more productive Sunday
Yeah.
than this. Like this is good.
It's always good to have something to do on Sunday because
I mean, like we get to like really dig deep on some stuff. Like most of it's like kind of like opinion based, but like whatever knowledge that we've gathered throughout the years, we can offer that, which is kind of cool. I'm down with it.
it'd be cool if someone who like wrote a confession on the site actually heard the podcast, and if
I know. I
if
would
that
love
were
to
to
hear
happen,
like that would be cool cuz like I would like and I hope like if you is there any way that you can link those up together like
well, I can give them my email address, and maybe they could send a response to me.
yeah, cuz I mean like
Yeah.
sometimes like that might be good. Like we could read some of the like things that people have said in response to us, right?
Yeah,
Like that might be kind of neat.
my email is rectormedia@gmail.com. My last name is spelled RECTOR media, and that's
And mine, oh sorry, you go
yeah.
ahead.
No, you go ahead.
Oh, mine is artisans@live.ca. artisans at live.ca.
There you
So
go. So
definitely email us if you hear your confession, or like maybe you want to say something in response to what we fucking said.
yeah,
I'm down. I'm down for that. Let's have a conversation.
exactly.
All right.
Take care of yourself.
All right, you too.
Have a good night.
All right.
All right. Bye-bye.